Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Buttons. As you may have heard by now, Wizards of the Coast, actually Hasbro itself, has had its stock massively downgraded, and the roof is caving in. Kind of a moment. Wizards of the Coast is basically getting having the albatross of all this hung around its neck because apparently, according to the bank analysts, they've overprinted Magic the Gathering cards, and now this is causing some shaking up at the corporate level. Apparently, the movie studio they own that's been making the D&D movie is already, being like listed as for sale or some shit like that. Speaks greatly to the confidence they have in the money they were going to make on that Chris Pine D&D movie that everyone's been clamoring for. Kids these days, they love Chris Pine and Hugh Grant. How could it possibly have failed? That movie's status, I guess, is a question mark. I mean, it's made, it's in the pipeline. If it's a studio that's failing and up for sale, are they still able to actually put their products out? I remember all the many long years of, MGM being bankrupt, and it's tying up all sorts of rights to various products, like James Bond, causing James Bond movies to have way too large of a gap in between them because it was such a pain in the ass to get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So, bad times could be ahead. It's ironic they did it because they oversaturated the market with stupid trading cards. I'm not a Magic the Gathering person, so as much as some people want to, raise their torches of fuck D&D, D&D didn't really seem to have much to do with this, at least on the front of, what the, actual people who monitoring the stocks had to say. Their flagging sales couldn't possibly have helped, though. And Wizards of the Coast is still Hasbro's number one moneymaker. And so there's a certain level where it would be foolish of them to cut and run and dump Wizards of the Coast onto somebody else, because it's still their best bet to recover and get their revenue in. They just need to get it under more firmer control, which could lead to, various people high up in the hierarchy losing their jobs and being replaced with outsiders. This could have all sorts of effects on D&D's production moving forward. We just don't know what that's going to be yet, but don't assume that this is going to be some good thing for the game. If on some weird scenario were to happen where they just decide to say fuck it and panic and just sell everything and just get themselves away from the stench of the brand, who's going to buy Wizards of the Coast? Well, what companies out there have that kind of money and interest where that would be the kind of company that they would want to acquire while it's cheap? If they were to try to sell Dungeons and Dragons off separately as its own thing, what kind of company would buy that? Do we want another toy company running these things? Having a toy company's ethics and a toy company's focus on young children being their target audience? Do we want a movie studio? We could end up in a scenario where fucking Disney owns Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons. Is that really what anyone wants? So I wouldn't be celebrating if I were you. This is all fairly fresh news, and it could just be a whole bunch of hokum for all we know. Smoke and mirrors and all that to try to hide what really happened. But the fact that they're willing to kind of chuck Wizards of the Coast under the bus with their flagship game, Magic the Gathering, and not try to pin this on D&D somehow, I find that interesting. So, yeah, congratulations, all you Magic players, for encouraging them to try to make a quick buck by selling you too many cards that you didn't really want or need. It's just, on a game that's its value is based on scarcity. So anyway, I guess that's about it. I'll talk to you later. Stay waspinated.